Alright, let's start on the August Poppy. I love this one, not only because it's so pretty, but it's also my birth flower. So, might be a little biased, but I think it's so beautiful. Okay, so I have a scratch paper to practice the colors. We have 2 cups of water for my warm and cold colors. And then I have a paper towel. And we will be using a medium round tip brush. And then for those that want to do a background, I use a large filbert brush to cover the area. And so before I start, I'm gonna spray my paints and tape my paper. So if you want to do that as well, we will get started once that's done. Okay, so just as a refresher, I like to tape about 1/4 inch on both vertical sides. And then on the top and bottom, I have about 1/2 inch on both sides so that it frames an 8x10 painting so that you can easily put it on your wall or gift it to someone. So let's mix some colors. I'm going to do a light pink, and I'm just going to use this cadmium red. Pretty diluted, and then I'm going to make a more pigmented and then add some orange to it because I want it to have kind of a like peachy feel. So it's still a little too dark. Let's see. What do we like that? I still want it to be more orange, so let's see if this is gonna help. Okay, so I have my pink and my darker red. And so I might even do like another like that. Okay, so with this one, this orangey pink, I'm gonna go in and just fill in some of the highlight areas. So I'm gonna do this. And you want to move pretty fast because this one's going to be very similar to January because I want to mix the colors as they're wet. So I'm grabbing that, and I'm going to grab my pink and do this one. And they're going to kind of blend together. And move up here. Dip in some more orange. And while it's wet, I'm grabbing this darker color and just dropping it in and letting it go. So now I'm gonna do the same thing here with my inside, and I'm leaving, you can touch the colors, but I'm leaving some white areas for separation. And then I'm gonna drop in some dark again. Already looks so pretty. Okay, so now I'm grabbing my lighter peach color and I'm doing this side out here. This painting's gonna be pretty fast moving so that we can still mix the colors together. Because look how beautiful they're turning out. And then I'm going to grab some of my dark color again and drop it in just where I had it before on that inner part of the flower. Like this. Okay. And then I'm going to grab it and do this petal. Super pretty. So I'm gonna come in and grab some of the color and just kind of scrub it out in some areas so that it has those highlighted spots. So I have some here that I'm gonna take out, and then I'm gonna take some from this area, just the tip of that one, and then so again, what I'm doing is I'm scrubbing it out with water and then I'm drying my brush off and coming back over it and just picking up that extra paint. There we go. And see how this is bubbling? I'm gonna take some of that off as well. I'll leave some of it. There we go. Okay, so that flower's done. We're gonna move over to this one. I'm just gonna get some, just a little bit more. Okay. So I'm doing this big petal first. Spreading it out. And then I'm also going to do this one, but I'm going to leave a tiny little white line in between to have that separation. Like that. Then I'm grabbing this darker red that we just made and just dropping it in. If you want some more of the peach color, you could just add in a little bit of orange. Like this. And then use your brush to kind of, where those puddles are, you can lift. Okay, so now I'm coming in and doing this one, keeping it fairly light. I'm dropping in some more pink at the bottom. And then along the side. Okay, so right now you can see kind of where like my dots are. And if you want to just use your brush and smooth it over, you can do that, or you can leave it. Now I'm going to go in and do this petal. So for this, I don't want this harsh line right here. So I'm cleaning my brush off, drying it off on my paper towel, and just kind of blending that upwards. And same here, I'm gonna do that as well. Very pretty. Okay, last flower, and then we'll work on the stems. So if you still have paint left over, let's just use what we have. I'm gonna do this one first. Just run my brush along with that darker color and then bring in some more of that brighter red. And then rinsing my brush off and grabbing this blush color and coming in. Okay, and then still there's a lot of water, so I'm going in and picking that up like that. So now we're gonna do this middle one. And I think I'm gonna leave this one pretty dark. And bring in this lighter color on the side. Might drop some little bit of orange into it. And then coming in with this one. Okay, I'm gonna come in and drop some of this darker color just at the bottom of these petals. And then also at the bottom of this bottom petal. Pretty. Okay, we're gonna let that dry as we mix the greens. Good heck, I need to go blow my nose. Okay, I'm grabbing more of like a blue green right now, and it's still like very blue. I don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is add some yellow to this color. Still a little bit more vibrant than I want. So if you have a nice purple, you could add purple, or in this scenario, you could even add some red to it. And that will muddy it up perfectly. Okay, so we have this, and we're just going to run. If you need to practice, you can practice your stems, because these stems are actually pretty thin even with the drawing. So you can practice before you go to your final painting. And then you can, oh, see, this just happened. And some people might be okay with that, but I don't know if I want that in my flower. So I'm picking it up with my pencil, with my paintbrush, and just taking that off. And then I have some more red, so I'm going to drop that in. Fixed. Okay, so maybe I'll work on this bottom area first and then bring the color up. So I'm going with the leaves. So this is a lot darker than I would like it to be. Kind of switched colors because I had to pick up that red and I didn't wash things off properly. So I'm gonna just add a little bit more green, a little bit more yellow, tiny bit of red. There we go. So I'm just gonna bring that back down. Okay. And then we're gonna grab, we're really just doing the same tone for the entire thing until the very end. So we'll do that. Okay, so now that we have the dark greens, you could come in and just put in a little shading like we will here for this little bulb. And you could bring it darker on one side. Or you could leave it. Honestly, it looks really pretty. So now that we have that done, we can choose a background. And we are gonna do line work for this one. So if you have a pen around, you can grab a pen while it dries. And then we will move forward. So for now, let's figure out what color we want to do the background. I kind of like I think we're gonna do gray for, okay. So for the background, I think I'm just gonna do a light gray wash. So I'm grabbing some gray. If your palette does not have gray, you just grab black and use a lot of water. So, for those of you that have a filbert brush, I'm gonna switch to that. If you do not, if you don't have a filbert brush, that's okay. Your round tip brush will do just fine. Okay. Let's. Okay, now that the painting is done, let's let it dry and then we will do line work together. Okay, now that it is pretty much dry, I have this pen that I got from Amazon. It came in a pack of 12 back when I did a workshop last year, and I have loved these pens. But so I've linked these in the material list, but I also have linked an actual art pen that will work perfectly as well. I actually used it for this one. So you could see the difference if I drew on this. It's just a little thinner, but I love it. So with these, I like to be as organic as I can. So you're gonna wanna do your best to keep your pen on the paper and not to lift it up. So you can practice on your sheet how to do it before going over. Like maybe do some fun lines, get familiar, and then move over. So I'm just gonna keep going. If you need to loop back, I'll show you what I do. And I finish this leaf. So if let's say you want to do this little bulb, you're going around and then you want to add some shading, you can do these fun little loops. Or if you don't know how to get from like this petal to the next, it's okay to just cross over. You can be organic with your shapes. I love just seeing people's line work because it has so much personality within itself. So I'm gonna finish this off. Okay, so the line work is done, and all we have to do now is take this tape off. So if you skipped forward past our intro, it's just a reminder, we have launched this watercolor book. We have put so much thought and energy into making this special for you. I remember taking a poll maybe a few months ago about the #1 thing that you guys struggle with, and that is making time for your art. And this book helps you to make time for art because it takes let's be real, 30 minutes to an hour before painting of figuring out what should I paint, how should I paint it, does this look good? It takes away all those guessing and you're able to have fun and create some paintings and just decompress. So if you have not got it already, the link is in the description of this video along with a free watercolor mini course to landscapes. It goes over lighting, shadows, wet on wet, wet on dry, and how to apply those basic techniques into your skies and mountains and fields, greenery, florals. It really helps you to take that questioning away.
I hope you had so much fun with this tutorial. I
Loved it. I hope you're proud of your work. If you would like, join us next time for the September Aster. And until then, have the best day, and I will see you next time.